this video, we're going to talk through the essential strumming patterns for beginners for worship acoustic guitar. If you've been following along in this series, in the last 2 videos, we learned 8 chords that allow you to play hundreds of worship songs in all the different possible keys. But today we're going to focus on one of the foundations of acoustic guitar, which is rhythm or strumming. And a lot of times if you're looking up strumming patterns, it can get complex. You can look up, okay, this up, down, up, 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 down. Or maybe there's different charts and each song has its own pattern. It can get confusing pretty quickly. But today I'm going to break down strumming and make it really simple because it doesn't have to be complex. So the acoustic guitar is primarily a rhythm instrument. We learned chords, and those chords sound really pretty and beautiful, but if we're out of time, then we're missing a major part of why we're playing the acoustic. So if you're unfamiliar with rhythm, all music is made up of what are called measures. Most measures in a song have 4 beats of what are called quarter notes. So for Blessed Be Your Name, the quarter notes would sound like 1, 2, 3, 4. Blessed be your name in the land that is plentiful. So you can hear there's 4 beats of one chord, 4 beats of another, then 4 beats of another. Now because of this, one of the most important strumming patterns is literally just 4 downbeats in a row, because we need to be able to play along to quarter notes, as that's the foundation of rhythm. So to start, we're just going to start practicing. So I'm just playing 4 notes down strums. Now anytime I'm practicing any instrument really, I recommend practicing with metronome. So on my phone I literally just have an app called Metronome, and I pull it up anytime I'm practicing and it'll sound something like this. Okay, I know this is the beat that I need to be on. Play along to a metronome. This is going to really help your rhythm, especially once you get onto a band and start playing with the drummer. Now that you're comfortable with that, we're going to add what are called eighth notes. If we're looking at down notes, you could think of the down notes as 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of the strums counts as a beat, but now we're going to add what are called ands. We're basically just adding notes in between each of those numbers. So you notice that when we're doing our down strums, our hand always has to go up to get back to the down strum. Instead of skipping the strings, we're going to twist our wrist a little bit and hit the strings on our way up. So you can practice this little wrist twist motion for a bit and then start doing down, up, down, up. So it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So keep playing that until you're comfortable, and this feels like a very fluid motion. One tip on strumming is thinking of your elbow here as it's literally pinned down. So a lot of times you might be moving your whole arm, it's gonna make your rhythm inconsistent. Instead, it's better to think of this elbow as pinned, so that elbow is never gonna move. It's like a hinge. Your arm is just moving up and down, but your elbow never moves. It stays the same. Move your elbow to whatever position is most comfortable for you to do those up and down strokes towards about the middle of the guitar. Now, these quarter note strums and eighth note strums might seem simple, but once you've got those down and playing along with the metronome, you've got the foundation of every single strumming pattern. So all strumming patterns are different variations of up downs or eighth notes and quarter notes. So for example, you might hear a strumming pattern like this. And I can think of it as down, down, up, down, down. Or I can think of it as 1, 2, and 3, 4. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm skipping some upbeats while keeping my arm moving at the exact same pace. So my arm is always going to be doing this. You can think of your arm almost like a metronome that you're practicing with, where it's always going back and forth to the 1 and beat. But sometimes you're going to lift your arm up away from the guitar slightly so that you miss a beat. Down, skip, down, up, down. Skip, down, skip. You can try that a few times, and once you get comfortable with skipping on your way up or skipping on your way down, then you'll be able to make up any strumming pattern you could ever hear or think of. Another way to practice this is to simply listen to a song and try to pick out the rhythm of it. So let's say I was hearing something similar to this. Once you start practicing, you're going to realize that sounds like 1, 2, 3, and 4 and, or down, 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 up, down, up. So I'm just going to go. Or you might hear the beat, and again that's going to be 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Clap different beats or listen to songs and try to pick out the rhythm. But basically just remember that your arm is always going to be staying in the same pattern up, down, up, down, up, down. And all that's changing is whether you're hitting the strings on your way up or down or you're skipping them. Now, so far we've been practicing all of this just on one chord. Once you feel more comfortable, I would start incorporating chord changes. If you haven't watched the previous 2 videos, I'd recommend either of those to learn a great chord progression loop that's used in most modern worship music. So I would practice any of those loops and I would start to try to change with the strum pattern. So let's take our down, 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 up, and I'm going to do the G, D, E minor, C chord progression. You notice that I don't change on the 1. I'm actually going to change on the 4. The beat before a new measure, you actually start moving your fingers to your new chord. And this is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but if you are using those chords that I taught you in the last 2 videos, this chord transition is going to be a lot easier because you already have anchor notes that mean you don't have to move your hand as much as a lot of other chords would make you do. Once you've got quarter notes and eighth notes down, start trying to play out songs and do this consistently with a metronome, and your drummer is going to be blown away at your newfound rhythm skills. This is my 3rd video in this acoustic guitar beginner series. If you have questions or other topics that you're interested in learning, feel free to comment down below. I'll be doing a few more videos in the series, and I would love to hear your guys' feedback on what's been helpful and what you would like to learn next. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and like and subscribe to this video for more worship content. I'll see you in the next one.